y'all getting off of the safety net. Google dig around the crazy check. I feel like you two is the niggas over it. The niggas pay you attention what you supposed to get. You know niggas die for equal pay, right? You know when I work I ain't a slave, right? You know I ain't shucking a job and niggas high fiving. You know this is back in the days, right? But I can't tell how the way they killed Freddie Gray, right? Shot down Mike Brown, how they did Trey, right? Let them choking niggas, we gon' turn style, I ain't just choking niggas. You know I came in the game independent, right? Title, my own label, same difference. Oh, niggas is skeptical in their own shit. You bought 9 iPhones, y'all was rich.
Coconut that mix it all up, put the lime in the coconut that mix it all. Yeah. We back. I went from moving cheese over the counter to moving the culture. They couldn't counter if we attack. I'm Neil Macaulay with a time machine going back in time to the scene of the murder, but then change it up to elude the police further. To further my craft, I had to inhale the wrath of many men who don't want to see me as Jason Statham in this game. I stay focused as a beekeeper. If I don't, then it stings me, so I can't make mistakes. Walking on eggshells to each one of them breaks. I've been accused of being the greatest, and honestly I gladly accept it. Can't believe people are still butthurt over some South Park jokes. Come on, I'm badhead like hemorrhoids, cause you guys ain't stalked. In 2025 people still don't want that smoke. The game's absorbing the price for taking a win will have you sobbing. Only one black man won an Emmy this year, that's crazy. Well, 2 from Count Kendrick and maybe Doji. Okay, not enough still. Got dudes doing Tai Chi but barely get noticed for that. See, it's politics that is generous, specific. Is it generic? Is Mandela turning in his grave? Did we make him proud, or does he think we just created more anarchy? Are we just slaves? My army be ready for more of the enemy's excuses for not allowing us to do this. I gotta produce movies, y'all. I've been putting more graveyard shifts than a demonic seance. What you say, y'all? I'm saying I'm not just a punchline or saying that the people be saying. I'm waiting when I'm moving like illegal material past security. Hope they don't get wind of what's in the bag. It's not a bomb, it's just another South Park gag that's gonna make you laugh so hard. You forget we both might get fired for that. Okay, what up, Cartman? You Kenny killing fat bastard. Thank you, Kenny. Kyle often the innocent bystander who isn't as innocent as he claims, cause he also part of the chaos. The kerosene flamethrowers can damage anybody's ego. At this point, Donald Trump is the most joke-worthy president, and I think he loves it. The attention, high pressure jobs deserve some stress relief. They insult me almost every week, so let's just enjoy the childish beef. I'm glad to be theme of the week, donkey of the day, but don't accuse me of things I did not say. Okay, don't do drugs, kids. Come on down to South Park, let's have a good time. Come on down to South Park, we can have a good old time. Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Today we shall be looking at the acclaimed Hollywood legend Michael Mann and one of his most infamous, so famous films titled Heat. The controversy around Heat is that people say it inspired a lot of bank robberies, okay, in South Africa, South America, and different places. The bank robbers claimed, well, we were watching Heat. But I don't always believe that's what happened exactly. For Heat, Michael Mann got inspiration from real-life events that transpired in the 60s. During that time, highly decorated policeman Jack Adamson was on the pursuit of the greatest criminal America had ever known. A man so diabolical as Tupac and Jay-Z often referenced him in many songs. I'm talking about none other than Neil Macaulay. Neil Macaulay was famous for perfect bank robberies. He studied everything to a T, including forming bonds and relationships with inside men and women. These relationships would ultimately help him in escaping from many robberies with so much counterfeit money like you can't believe. He had rules he followed, gentlemen, like if you smell the heat around the corner, just know an ambush is waiting. Gotta be out of there in 30 seconds flat. Everything you are doing has to be abandoned. Chuck Adamson was often left a nervous wreck in pursuit of a phantom, a ghostly figure who claimed he used a time machine to go back in time and change the events of many things. Honestly, it was baffling how he was able to escape them and elude them. Neil often left the police exasperated and out of breath, chasing pavement like a deer while he escaped with all the money and belongings. See you later, suckers. His final capture came after a slip up in frame. Neil opting for revenge ultimately ended up being the reason he got caught and locked up for real. Okay, he's just a human being.
Like in risk versus reward, baby.
The events between Chuck Adamson and Neil Macaulay became the inspiration for many heist movies, from hit Beverly Hills Cop to the highly acclaimed Dark Knight by Christopher Nolan. Directors studied the details of Neil Macaulay really well and ended up with their own staged bank robberies for film and only for film, okay? When Michael Mann approached infamous criminal Neil Macaulay, he did not know what to expect. Not a very warm reception, I guess. Of course, far from it, Macaulay wasn't happy that Hollywood were making a movie about him. Ultimately, it was difficult for him to accept the conditions. But after the paycheck came in, he was more than happy to offer his criminal blessings to Michael Mann. Here comes the money. And so, powered by the true story of Neil Macaulay and Chuck Adamson, Mann began scripting a film that would forever stand out as one of the greatest action crime movies. Heat was produced in 1995, starring an ensemble cast of wise guys, okay? Academy Award winner Robert De Niro meets Academy Award winner Al Pacino for the first time since The Godfather 2. Built up as a heavyweight fight between two of Hollywood's greatest, Heat did not disappoint. It was beyond mind-blowing to see the explosive car chase between these two men, a rivalry of words for the ages. When I first watched this film, I sort of hated it. I thought it was too talky and not enough action. But then I was only 5, maybe 7. I wanted to see Van Damme. Hiya! Not able to comprehend the great diction between the two dedicated gentlemen. Acclaimed comedian Ari Spears got in trouble for smearing the names of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Mr. Sylvester Stallone when he did an impression of them and made the claim that they were not true actors like Robert De Niro. Al Pacino was in Heat. At the time, he cited the lack of audible pronunciation could get to the opera as the downfall of Arnold and Sly Stallone. He then compared them to the slick-talking Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, to which he gave the latter high acclaim. In hindsight, Spears regrets the whole thing and even had to apologize for the formations, but it's just comedy in the end. Well, he was cancelled, so maybe comedy. We gotta be careful. Cinema often favors big action set pieces over the nonchalant, fast-talking, slow-paced blockbusters like Heat. Honestly, I understand the reason. Heat, as brilliant as it is not for everyone. It's slow movie like a stakeout at an abandoned building, okay? What you mean they left the place? It's a real-life case-by-case situation based on true events. That's what makes it pack the ultimate punch. Aside from Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, the cast was full of noteworthy heroes. Dennis Trejo, Jon Voight, and of course Val Kilmer and Ashley Judd made up this thunderous roster that deserved full applause. The film is about two former friends on the opposite ends of the law, infamous criminal Neil Macaulay and big-time detective Vincent Hanna. They have known each other for the longest time, but they just can't see eye to eye. Previously, Macaulay would help the police by giving details about bank robberies and stuffs, but after he got in trouble with the police, he decided to drop the politics and stop with the pleasantries. He soon transitioned into the role of full-time villainous criminal, able to rob and kill on the job before having a nice egg roll. Okay, far from emotional, Macaulay, played by De Niro, always approached the robbery coolly with the steely determination of a cyborg organism. He was patient and rarely shaken by a change of events. These attributes greatly helped him in his attempts at stealing from wealthy gentlemen. One of the bank robberies goes wrong. When one of these robberies goes wrong, Macaulay decides to move on as the heat is too strong. Heat is slang for police cracking up the pressure to catch you. In a line that is now very famous, Robert De Niro repeats words from his mob boss heroes. If you smell the heat around the corner, you gotta be able to walk away in 30 seconds flat. The 30 seconds is a metaphor and not literal, because if it was true, these guys would have walked away from loot and not decided to shoot back at the police on several occasions, okay? I mean, they made the news very interesting, but it all went against their better judgment. What 30 seconds means is don't get too cocky when the cops be watching, okay? Move swiftly and always elude them. Macaulay believed he had a time machine that could allow him to make big predictions about how things will happen in the future. When he needed to do some serious bank robbing, what he actually means by time machine is he has prophets, people who can warn him, okay, about the future's misfortune and vivid vision. Well, you know, just tell them, ask him what the lottery is gonna wait. It was complicated. They can't predict everything. He doesn't literally do any time traveling, but maybe the prophets do, but it's, you know, it's never easy to do. The rest of it is mathematics and probability. What are the chances that you get shot by the police if you move in that direction? We gotta be smarter than that. These were master criminals who took advantage of a broken system. Nonchalant security officers who wanted to cut from the bank robberies. Makes every job more expensive, but worth it if you can split it properly. Realistically, you can't just get away with millions of dollars from a bank robbery. That's all fantasy. Maybe smaller installments that add up to something bigger eventually. Success, even as a criminal, requires a lot of hard body experience and skill navigating the surveillance cameras, okay? If I feel the hit around the corner, then I must be a goner. I'm gone, bruh.
Their performances have created a legacy of landmark film.
The Quiet Place is a horror that will put your life in disarray, inspired by the works of Stephen King. It was directed by a man who watched films like The Shining and The Thing one too many times, again and again. The film was directed by the boyish, childlike comedian John Burke Krasinski, a man whom you have probably seen on several Facebook memes. He became a famous name after his role in the critically acclaimed show The Office, alongside comedy legend Steve Carell and more. After directing A Quiet Place, this quiet face owned by John Krasinski wasn't quiet anymore. He was making a racket quietly. He was named one of 100 most influential people. That's all thanks to his major directorial debut for A Quiet Place. Lovely. For A Quiet Place, Krasinski hired his wife Emily Blunt to play his wife. What a cheeky bastard. Okay. Anyway, she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. Okay. I don't know how he pulled her. Okay. Emily's performance was so mind-blowing that she won a Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Supporting Actress. The film, A Quiet Place, is an introduction to a post-apocalyptic landscape taken over by strange-looking aliens. The aliens landed on a spaceship and began to wreak havoc, but actually that was not their initial intention, okay? A terrorist organization planned to overthrow the world's governments using biological weapons that were run by these aliens. A dispute occurred between the terrorists and the aliens, leading to the alien invasion, an impasse, you know. The film, while not inspired by true events, does offer warning against mistreatment of wildlife. Aliens are like wildlife in a way. They might just show their wild side and attack your home by the countryside. This is my house now. Rawr. Every fire, every event in which a lion is let loose could be some kind of coup. The police hide this information to not anger citizens. Calm down. That's right, Mrs. Johnson. Your neighborhood is much more exciting than you think. What a frighteningly ignorant young man. I'm not ignorant. I'm just different from what you think, okay? In A Quiet Place, an alien invasion means all humans must stay in their homes, be very quiet, or be attacked by ugly aliens. Well, the aliens hate noise because they are busy studying for that big literature exam. Well, not exactly, man, but they do have to cram day and night. They're constantly studying their new environment, plus sound is their weakness. They really hate loud noises. Hey, are they related to Venom? Well, yes, and more of that stuff. All aliens in every alien movie are related in some way, which is truly very freaking amazing. It means you can connect one alien's behavior from one alien movie to another. In A Quiet Place, the alien's origins is not specific, but they're similar to Venom from the Spider-Man universe, which means they can do shape-shifting, allowing them to inhabit bodies of human beings. Every sound the human beings are making can cause these aliens to wreak havoc and cause ultimate mayhem. Sometimes it's just a distraction. The aliens don't always want to destroy them. They want to abduct your children and raise them to be great hardworking aliens that can help the alien soldiers in their invasion. Okay, that's not very nice. That's right, humans, you gotta fight. But do it quiet because the aliens are blind but not deaf. Stop playing that song by Justin Bieber so many times. The aliens prefer the Beatles and something more subtle. Kidding, I love Justin Bieber. In part 1 of A Quiet Place, a family must survive an alien invasion, but it's highly unlikely. Why? Because wifey and children be so stubborn like you can't believe. Emily insists on having a baby, when clearly this is not the best time for that kind of thing. Imagine if the alien hears the baby scream, "Wah, wah." That's a fresh gourmet meal for them. And that's exactly what happens. The mother gives birth to a bouncing baby, and after hearing the baby scream for the very first time, the aliens begins their hunting of all the human beings. The film is horrifying, it's terrifying, full of death-defying children who must overcome hell and high water to survive that hell to the end. But they're not survivors in the end. Sadly, the humans don't make it in the end because they constantly ignore the true scale of what they were facing. A Quiet Place has great technical symbolism. Can you find a way out of hell if you're not allowed to speak aloud? Well, truth is, it's not easy. I often fall asleep in the light.
Who are we if we can't protect them? We have to